And good Tuesday evening to everyone. TJ Ald's I-45 now with our election night coverage for our November election night coverage happening here on I-45 now. It is a little after 7:20, about 7:23 now. And in Galveston County, our primary coverage area, the polls are still not fully closed yet because there are long lines happening at a lot of the place, and we have not had the results from early voting released yet. In fact, you can take a look. The only thing that we have up on our screens now with election results is what you see here. This is what's called the zero count. This is what they put up earlier in the day just to make sure the system works out. And right now, no numbers in on early voting. That is a decision by election officials to hold off. We've asked when we think we'll see those early returns. We haven't gotten an answer to that. Same thing in Harris County. Harris County experiencing some voting irregularities, not irregularities so much as some machines going down at NRG Center, and that's delaying the count as well as some of the voting. So that's going to be happening for those of you who watch for our Harris County side of things, where we're following the Harris County judge's race as well as Commissioner Precinct 2 out of Harris County there. So what are we going to be following up tonight here? Well, on the main part of things we'll be doing is following obviously the hot local elections. That is our main focus, is the local elections here. We'll give you some statewide perspective every once in a while, but mainly our hype is to stay here on local elections. That's going to be the Marque mayoral recall, the League City Council races, the Texas City ISD bond proposals coming up tonight, Galveston County Judge, Galveston County District Attorney, Galveston County District Court Judge 122nd District, Galveston ISD Trustee 7G, the state reps race in District 23 and 24, U.S. congressional race, Texas 14. And as I said, for our Harris County viewers, we will have you on tonight as well, following a Harris County judge and Harris County Precinct 2, which is in our area here. So here's where our focus is going to be, is that we're going to be paying attention now. As I said, local elections. I know a lot of folks are already chiming in about the statewide elections. That's not going to be what we focus on tonight. We'll give you updates as we get things throughout the night. Taking a look, again, we do not have early returns in yet on our local elections. I'm double checking on our computer here now. Charlie Segari is standing by for us as you can see, this is what you're looking at, my screen, same screen I look at here, as we only have the pre-zero report, and I'll pop up here. This is a Harris County side of things as well, so no updates as well. So it'll be a long night tonight as we participate. So we're going to be pretty busy tonight again, but we're focused on those local elections, as I told you about. Those are listed there. What we can do is go ahead, even before any votes have been called, we can already, as you see, if you read our text area of this, on things, that we can already obviously call races because the unopposed candidates here. Nick Long will be the new mayor of League City now, officially, now that voting is over with. Andy Mann reelected to the League City Council, as was Chad Tressler tonight. And Mays Middleton will officially become the state senator elect for District 11. He was unopposed in this election. In fact, you couldn't even undervote in that election as well. That was obviously Mays Middleton. The Republican running there, Larry Taylor, decided not to run for re-election. Let's give you a little bit of a view here too of what was going on at some of the polling locations. Our Joey McCusker was out and about today, and so we will be looking at those again. Polls were supposed to close at 7, but there were long lines, and anyone in line at 7 o'clock still, by law, gets to vote. You're taking a look. This is these first bit of video. This is from over at Hometown Heroes Park, where you see the League City Council candidates were standing guard there. We've got some contested races there in that one. Position 7, position 3, the unexpired term, and position 2, the hotly contested races in League City Council. So that will be at the B1 that we'll be taking a look at throughout the night tonight. And this was the voting location over at Hometown Heroes Park earlier today. Our Joey McCusker getting that video. Then from there, Joey moved on. I believe he checked things out over in Marque right after that. And of course, that's the big thing over there. The Marque Mayoral a recall election. That's the only ballot issue in the city of Lamarque. Joseph Lowry, who you saw there holding the sign, and is calling for the recall there. And so if you voted for the recall, that recalls the mayor. If you voted against it, the mayor stays pat. Now, that is going to be highly watched throughout the night tonight as well. Over in Lamarque, it's been highly contested there along the lines that there was a failed attempt to get a recall election for later against Councilwoman Kim Yancey, who is in Lamarque as well. That did not get on any ballot upcoming, but again, enough signatures on a petition to get the recall election in Lamarque there. The tough thing there is going to be is that Keith Bell, who had 90% of the vote when he was elected as mayor, we'll see if he's able to carry over with any of that. The other big election tonight, Texas ISD has 2 bond proposals. Most of this is going to be for schools in the Lamarque area, including new high school, stadiums, and the like as well. That's been kind of under the radar, not as contested there on that. The last bond referendum that Texas City had was really focusing on a lot of what was happening on the Texas City side thing, plus a couple of new schools and what was the Lamarque ISD. Now you're looking at things over in Galveston. This is at Moody Memorial Methodist Church, always a busy polling location there. Again, we'll be watching that county judges race between Marque Henry, the incumbent, and Democrat challenge William King III, former Dickinson City Council member. He'll be up. They're taking each other on tonight as well. We have a contested Galveston County District Attorney's race, and as well as a Galveston County District Court judge for the 122nd. That's an open seat as Judge John Ellisor decided not to run for re-election and is retiring. We're also going to be looking at Galveston ISD Trustee 7G coming up there as well throughout the night there. So we'll be taking a look at those elections throughout the day. Again, what I was telling you earlier, this is the Harris County side of things. Let's take a look. I don't think we have any change. Still no early numbers from Galveston County as well. And this is not expected. I was just telling you, if you can read in our text there, voting ended at 7 o'clock. But if you're in line at 7, you get to stay and vote. So they'll just go to the back of the line and say, here we go, hold up. And that will be how that will work. And and on the safe side of things, election officials will probably hold up until those lines are really down before they release the early returns. And we don't know what those results. Now, we don't know how much of the mail-in vote will be included in this early count as well. We'll be getting that data again. Charlisa Gary is down at the Galveston County Clerk's office. That's who handles the elections in Galveston County. Republican Dwight Sullivan and his staff, Ernie and Wendy and the whole gang down there taking care of that. We're in constant contact with them on their stuff. And as I said, and for those of you who are watching in Harris County, the only 2 races we're really watching in Harris County, we will give you kind of cursory on how the district court judges races go, because there's been an active campaign, but we're following the Harris County judge, Harris County precinct 2, because that's what's in our coverage area. And again, as we go throughout the night, we will give you some of the updates on some of the statewide races, including governor, lieutenant governor, and attorney general as well, because obviously those have been following the battle between Beto O'Rourke and incumbent Governor Greg Abbott. I want to know what that's happening on a local side. We will be following that as well. We're also not going to ignore what's going on in Texas 14. That's Congress. That's Michael Williams, the Democrat, challenging the strong Republican incumbent Randy Weber, who is shown shoot away every challenger, even when a 3-way race in the Republican primary. We also have in District 23, which Mays Middleton left to go run for state senate. That's going to be Terry Wilson versus Keith Henry. Keith Henry, the former city commissioner in Texas City. Terry Wilson, a former state board of education member, is the Republican in that race. And then in District 24, Greg Bonin having a challenge that as well for his seat. First time a Democrat that's actually really had mounted any type of challenge in District 24. So here we go. That's what we're looking for, that early voting. Dory Lewis asked a question. I thought I'd answer this a little bit because it gives me, Dory, give me, thanks for this question here. Why do people not vote early if they don't think they can make it in time on voting day? This election is far too important, she says. It is, but there are some folks who just don't like voting early. Other times it just slips their mind, but a lot of folks like the tradition of voting on the election day. But I'm going to share with y'all a little bit of what I got from a political strategist who's in Galveston County looking at things. And if you and we've been hearing about kind of the nationwide about the red wave, the red tsunami, and everything else. So just taking a look at early voting right now is that the in-person voting and ballots by mail through last Friday was about 75,000 voters. So that was a significant number if you take a look at that there. And about 43% of those voted normally in the Republican primary. Another 23% normally voted in the Democratic primary. Now, here it comes. 34% of those in that have no primary ballot history. So obviously you have the Republican, Democrat primaries in the spring. And what we're showing here is what was expected. A high Republican turnout of 43%. This is just a cursory look at in-person voting and ballots by this well-placed, very knowledgeable Republican. I will point out Republican political consultant who shared this information with me. So 43% Republican, Democrat 23%. Now those are folks that always vote in the Democratic primary. Now, for the last several years, the Democratic primary has not meant much at all as far as voting for if you wanted to have a choice when it came around in November. So that pushes the numbers down. But those who have no primary history, and that means they've not voted in the Republican or Democratic primary in the last two election cycles, 34%, according to the analysis of that early voting. This is in Galveston County only. And that means you voted in one of the last three primaries as we look at this. So it's kind of an interesting stat. I'll talk about it throughout the night as well to see if that has any effect on the elections. But one of the things to kind of keep it key in Galveston County alone, 20,000 new registered voters this year. So that's 20,000 new registered voters getting out there on the rolls this year. And for this election, that's a lot of new voters coming in there. So that may also explain why there's a large no primary voting history, because they maybe it's somewhere else and not in Galveston County. Matthew Daniels saying here, everyone go out and vote. Matthew, unless they're in line already 35 minutes ago, it's too late for anyone to head to the polls now. You had to be in line at 7 o'clock in order to be able to still vote tonight if you're at one of the polling locations. We got reports too of some of the ballots, and we should point out both Galveston County and Harris County have the same election systems now. They're Harris votes, and they have paper ballots actually that you vote electronically. It prints it out, then it's scanned, so you can look at your ballot and you can actually see what it is, and then it scans in and goes in. That paper, that photogenic paper that goes through there, they've run out of that at a couple of those. At a couple of polling locations. We heard Seabrook had some problems. We also heard some machines went down at the NRG Center where the vote counting is done. So it may be a long night in Harris County. Hopefully we don't see a repeat of what is easily could have been called just a plain out disaster of what happened in Harris County during the primary voting. And as you can see, this is the Galveston County stuff. Again, Nick Long, unopposed. He's elected mayor. Andy Mann, position one. He's reelected to council for another term there. He was unopposed. Chad Tressler also reelected there. We'll be looking at that city council race in League City very careful tonight. So we will be able to look at things. I should point out too, and I know it's too late for you, Brooke. Brooke Sanders says, I was denied as a veteran to vote. One of the things should point out, anytime someone says, hey, you can't vote, you have the right to ask for provisional ballot and vote, and then they can work it out later. So in there, Karen Alexander telling us, hey, I voted early. Thank goodness. Yeah, I agree with you. Karen, I'm actually one of those. I used to be a stalwart for always voting on on election day, and then finally just found I was too busy on those days to do that. So that's something else to take a look at. So I've been trying to stall for time, hoping we maybe get some early returns out, but as I said, there's been long lines, and as you can see, you're looking at things as I'm looking at. So right now in Galveston County, the pre-count zero report, that's just all zeros across the board. So we don't have early returns yet up on that. And in Harris County, as I said, we're following the Harris County judge's race, as well as the County Commissioner Precinct 2 race. That's Jack Mormon versus the incumbent Adrian Garcia. And then, of course, Lena Hidalgo, the incumbent county judge, versus Alexandra Mealer there. That has been contested, and that's going to be a close one from everything we had. So anyway, so we will be following that. And again, the other big election, the Marque Mayoral relight. So and Stan Van Horn asks us, TJ, are you going to be live most of the night, or as my name at the end? Yes. But I'm just going to kind of chime in. One of the great things is that through this, we'll be updating numbers sometimes before I come on. But you'll also be getting results as I get them in as well. We also hope to be joined by some of the winners tonight as well. It's a lot of them when they win, obviously it gets last. Sorry. And I've just got this official word from Wendy Fragasso from the Galveston County Elections Office, and I had asked her, is this going to affect the early returns because there's been a long line? She says yes, it's super busy right now. So again, if you're in Galveston County waiting for returns, it's going to be delayed because of those long lines. Now, again, I've got to explain the law dictates that if you're in line at 7:00 when the polls are supposed to close, you're allowed to vote. That's the law. So that's always been the law, by the way. So if you're in line at 7:00 at a voting center and anywhere, quite frankly, you will be allowed to vote. Harris County, they had to extend some polling hours because of long lines and also having some voter issues. That is something that's happened as well in other parts, not in our southern parts, except as again, we had to report a Seabrook, but I think they got that Seabrook ballot issue worked out where they run out. So Johnny October, thanks for watching out of League City. We appreciate you. We'll have those League City results as soon as we get those as well. So we'll be following those. I said I have Charlisa Gary down at the Galveston County Courthouse. She in the county clerk's office. She is watching the numbers there. We're watching the numbers here as well. And when I come back the next time around, we won't chime in until we actually have some numbers to bring to you. I'm TJ Alds, I-45 Now.